We bring to your attention a list of the most beautiful online games of various genres, which will certainly give users many memorable moments of delight and admiration from the contemplation of beautiful places, grandiose events, spectacular special effects, cities, characters, and other visual fragments that make up the game world. Blade and Soul. One of the most beautiful MMORPGs, the world of which consists of several ancient continents with countless cities and villages unlike each other, majestic forests, hot deserts and mountains rushing into the sky. And in all this, the motifs of ancient Eastern fairy tales and legends are felt, which serve as the basis for both the design of the environment and the local plot. Battlefield 2042. The Battlefield games have always been known as the most spectacular and technologically advanced multiplayer shooters, thanks in large part to the Frostbite engine that appeared in the first Bad Company and the epic scope of the matches. Giant maps, 50 players, nice shooting physics, vehicles, and destructibility. All this favorably distinguished Battlefield multiplayer against the background of the same Call of Duty with its compact map design and tiny scale of battles. In Battlefield 2042, DICE played with the historical setting and returned to the present. Fans dreamed of seeing the legendary Trinity in the new part, but the release disappointed with poor optimization, an abundance of bugs and wooden weapons. However, it's still the prettiest online shooter in the industry, with a couple of interesting additions: an operative system like Call of Duty and R6, Siege, and the upcoming Portal Sandbox mode, where players can mix and match elements from across the Battlefield series. Overwatch. Blizzard's hellish mixture of shooter and MOBA came out in 2016 and instantly became an event game. The main reason for this is dozens of memorable characters, each of which has a bright design, backstory, and, of course, combat mechanics. They chat and joke before the start of the fight, tease each other after they make a frag, and constantly appear on one very famous site with a black and orange interface, which makes the game even more popular. Overwatch is fucking addictive. To fully master one hero, you need to kill hundreds of hours, and there are 32 of them in 3 classes: tank, support damage, and they all play differently. From the big man Reinhardt, whose hammer can take out the entire enemy team even from the touchpad, to the Widowmaker, which requires perfect finishing in the head, Pharah's flying rocket launcher, and support Lucio sliding along the walls. In addition, Overwatch has a large set of fun modes, interesting lore, and talented art design. Warframe. A free-to-play sci-fi action game that offers a rich and detailed setting with a delightful visual presentation. Perhaps this is one of the most spectacular and exciting games completely free. Bright special effects, dizzying animations of ranged and melee combat with elements of parkour, original and memorable environment design, as well as many other graphics and gameplay features await players in this popular multiplayer game from Digital Extremes. Escape from Tarkov. Hardcore shooter Escape from Tarkov may not be the most graphically advanced, but it offers perhaps the best gunplay in the genre. Everything related to weapons here is on a cosmic level. The most detailed customization of guns, detailed models, complex shooting physics, ballistics, and damage model. The developers have done everything so that you can feel every shot, and the design and atmosphere of the game is clearly inspired by the Stalker. Escape from Tarkov is set in Tarkov, a semi-abandoned and war-torn Russian city between 2 private military companies. The player's task is, as the name implies, to get out of Tarkov, and for this you need not only to shoot accurately, but also to monitor hunger, fatigue, and other survival parameters. Complicating the task is the fact that after the first fatal error, the player loses all equipment and starts the session again. Call of Duty Warzone. One of the best battle royale games that only Apex Legends can compete with, and certainly the most expensive and graphically advanced. In Call of Duty Warzone, 150 players fight across a huge map until only one person or squad remains, depending on the mode. Warzone is characterized by incredibly pleasant shooting. At first glance, it is as easy to learn as possible, but each gun behaves in its own way, especially at long range. Activision did everything to make shootings not only cause pleasure, but some kind of drug addiction. Dynamic movement with tackles, rich sound, beautiful animations and models of guns, and of course, detailed customization of weapons and perks do their job. Besides, Warzone just looks great. After all the requests from fans to move Call of Duty from an outdated engine to the new Activision, they finally did it, and few popular shooters can boast such a picture, especially since the game is free. True, you will have to pay for this with high system requirements. Destiny 2. The looter shooter from the creators of the Halo series is one of the best free online titles, offering a huge sci-fi world, an epic story campaign, detailed graphics, outstanding art design, and the most satisfying shooting. Destiny 2 is a service game where you can easily get stuck for thousands of hours. The plot alone will take a lot of time, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are also regular updates and DLC with a sea of new content, interesting events, a lot of different items and hero builds, raids, side quests, PvP, secrets, and much more. The world here is completely open for exploration, and each of its locations turned out to be unique and memorable. Sea of Thieves. The ultimate pirate game in which you can feel the romance of sea travel. Proclaim yourself a captain and set off towards a large, adventurous open world. As with any good multiplayer game, Sea of Thieves is always full of fun. Treasures scattered across the map are just waiting to be dug up and sold at a higher price in the nearest port. The motley factions always have interesting tasks. In addition, here you can arrange a skirmish from ship's guns or a spectacular boarding attack at any time, especially if you gather a team of friends. And besides other players, you will be threatened by huge monsters, skeletons, and other mystical creatures. In terms of graphics, Sea of Thieves is far from perfect. It's still not a AAA project, but the game more than compensates for the lack of detail with skillful art design, cartoon style, and a fabulous atmosphere. Black Desert. One of the best free-to-play MMORPGs with excellent graphics and an unusually wide range of gaming options, plus a beautiful and diverse world, far from the smallest among modern multiplayer role-playing games. Many add to the list of key advantages of Black Desert its advanced editor, which allows you to create a photorealistic character. Lost Ark. Isometric RPG, action in the spirit of the Diablo series, but on a much larger scale. According to the plot, you act as a hero who challenged the evil of the world. You can create a character in one of 12 classes and go to explore the large game world, complete tasks, and fight against numerous enemies and bosses. Lost Ark should be praised for the beauty of the locations. Traveling around the world, you will either stumble upon fantasy scenery or find yourself in a steampunk dimension with robots and steam mechanisms. Thanks to excellent graphics and high-quality visual effects, you will remember your trip to Lost Ark for a long time. Crossout. An action game about combat vehicles in which gamers are invited to create their own monster on wheels from various garbage. Fast buggy or powerful tank, or something in between. The appearance of the car and its characteristics depend only on the player's imagination, and you can check whether the creation is reliable or worthless in hot battles, divided into various PvE and PvP modes. If you take your eyes off the battle even for a second, you will see the beauty of the post-apocalyptic world of Crossout. Gloomy, lifeless locations, more like deserts, cause delight. But don't stare too long, or you'll find your vehicle will only be wheels. Fortnite. A popular game that has two modes, cooperative PvE and multiplayer PvP like Battle Royale. This is one of the first projects developed on the Unreal Engine 4 by its creators. You will see a cartoonish, but very high-quality picture, as well as well-designed animations. When passing, there is no feeling that we have some kind of cartoon in front of us, because Fortnite is able to challenge even professionals in their field. War Thunder. War Thunder is an arcade military vehicle simulator in which you can control planes, helicopters, tanks, and navies. There are several countries to choose from: USA, Japan, USSR, and so on, each with a unique technique. Choosing one of them, You will go to defend her honor in multiplayer battles in various modes. There are quick arcade battles for 5 to 10 minutes and realistic battles reproducing the events of World War II. War Thunder also has a nice visual. If you, for example, go into battle by plane, then, after seeing the landscapes presented, framed by high-quality lighting, you can completely forget how to shoot. Grand Theft Auto Online. Nearly a decade after its release, Grand Theft Auto V remains one of the most beautiful games out there, especially since it's coming to next-gen consoles along with ray tracing and other visual updates. Yes, this is far from the most technologically advanced game right now, but few open worlds can compare with virtual Los Santos in terms of atmosphere, number of activities, and the beauty of evening lights, especially if you explore it with your friends in GTA Online. GTA Multiplayer offers tons of fun. Buying real estate and making money, street racing, heists, servers with role-playing, fun mini-games, a Dead by Daylight-like slasher mode, golf and darts parties, and much more. In addition, GTA Online seems to remain the most profitable and priority game of Rockstar Games, so they are unlikely to abandon its development in the coming years. New World. The launch of Amazon's budding MMORPG is anything but smooth sailing. The game was postponed several times. By the time it was released, it had a lot of bugs. The servers could not cope with the queues of players, and the video cards of some users failed due to a game error. However, New World still collected a frenzied online and declared itself as an ambitious, if not ideal, MMORPG. The game boasts large-scale PvP battles with up to 100 people and a Dark Souls-style combat system. Simultaneous presence of more than 1,000 players on the server, faction struggle, and an unusual setting. A fantasy in the midst of the era of colonization of the 17th century. In addition, by the standards of the genre, New World looks very, very beautiful. A detailed picture, atmospheric art design, and a bright color palette. Enlisted. Online shooter from Gaijin Entertainment, the creators of War Thunder and Crossout. Made in the setting of World War II. The game has covered different time periods of the war. Here you can land in Normandy, fight for Moscow, or go to Africa. Enlisted isn't a hardcore military sim like Red Orchestra or Arma, but it's also not a Call of Duty Vanguard-style arcade game that lets you blast your way through the trenches alone. Enlisted encourages you to play tactically. In each match, you get a large squad of pretty smart bots. You can control them while running and shooting at the same time, or switch to any of the subordinates if you wish. The presence of computer blanks not only brings elements of strategy to the shooter, but also the scale of the battle will come. Hundreds of soldiers are running across the battlefield, wrecked tanks are burning, machine gun pillboxes are thundering, radio operators are reporting information, and fighter jets are buzzing in the sky. All this looks spectacular, sounds juicy, and does not slow down on medium systems. No Man's Sky. The launch of the space survival sandbox, No Man's Sky, was one of the biggest disappointments of 2016. Everything turned out so badly that the reviews on Steam changed to mostly positive only after 5 years, during which the developers completely reworked the gameplay, added a lot of new content and interesting features. Now, No Man's Sky is one of the most spectacular and large-scale space sims, which is full of entertainment, especially in multiplayer. Cooperative survival and construction on planets, travel through the endless procedurally generated space, communication with intelligent humanoids, management of the merchant fleet, battles and quests. This is not a complete list of what you can do here, and all this is flavored with a stunning picture and colorful alien landscapes. To be continued. If your favorite game is not included in this list, write in the comments. Thanks for watching. Join this channel to get access to perks. Subscribe our channel, watch our other videos, press like, turn on notifications, and you will always be aware of what to play today.